problem is when you're leaving it in, you kind of like this. So the bottom section's exposed for 30 seconds. Most people walk away. You know, like they back up, they're talking to the cash register. Well, this thing's sitting here going like this at you. So now, here's the funny thing about a credit card. The first 6 digits are, the first digit is what type of card it is. You can tell when that first digit, if it's an Amex card, if it's a Visa. So the first 6 digits are the identifier of the bank. Everybody who has the same, like if you have PNC, yours is the same as mine, is the same as everybody else. So all I care about, that's your actual account number right there. So you're sticking this thing in like this, leaving all this
of the information
so
available for
So you don't want the
hackers.
person behind you to see all those numbers, or even the clerk. I mean, just because
clerk's
someone's
usually
a
on
clerk.
the opposite side, but it's possible. I'm more concerned about the person behind me. So I'll tell you the trick that I do with these things. When I put it in the machine, I'm holding it like this.
Okay.
And I'm holding my hand there the whole time. Now, say I have to sign. I'm taking this hand and I'm signing with this hand. This hand never leaves this card until this thing gets pulled out. Because that is the biggest problem. The other way, like this, boom, swipe. First off, you don't even see my card. I'm swiping, I'm done. But with this thing, second I put my hand on it, it stays up there. It does not leave. I'm covering every piece of the number that is visible like this until that card comes out, back in my wallet, done.
So for you folks that are listening to us and not watching us, what Greg is showing is that he is putting his thumb over the remaining 9 numbers. I think it's about 9 numbers. And so that no one can see those numbers while you're at the ATM.
If you have some bad news, though.
Oh.
Because I was a banker for a really long time.
I know you were.
So, yeah, 100% of you, if you have a credit card, you're going to have, over the course of your life, you are going to have a compromised card. If you purchase things, if you go places, if you do things, 100% of you, every person will have account level identity theft. That means they stole your account number. Doesn't mean they know who you are or have your social security number and can go out and open new accounts. That's a different kind of identity theft. It's account level identity theft. It can happen because their terminal was hacked. And that was like the Target example. You know, they lost, their terminals were hacked.
Well, and I had mine done at Target. I had mine hacked at Target.
Yes.
And it was Christmas time. So, and it takes 10 to 14 days or something like that to get your new card.
Yes.
So everything was frozen at Christmas time. It was awful.
So there's that way. There is illicit swipers that are over legitimate swipers, like at a gas station or an ATM. There are people who do this as a side job. So you could go to your waiter and they have a little handheld scanner in their hand and they swipe your card here and then they swipe your card here and pay for your dinner. And then they sell that little swiper and get a lot of money for it. Or there is at the credit card origination, say you get a new card. When you get a new card is the highest threat because people who work at credit card companies are not always the most ethical. And you know, you could get identity theft there. The important things to know are watch your accounts, look at your balances. If something looks weird, call your credit card right away.
Yep. And one of the cool things with some of the newer cards is some of the apps now will actually notify you the second that card has done any transaction. Like
My daughter does that.
Yeah. Like I have a Capital One card that will notify me the second any transaction occurs. So I'm always on top of that. And I think a lot of the others are going to follow suit too. But, you know, again, like this stuff here, like this whole idea, the professionals are going to get you no matter what. The whole trick is if you leave it here and the guy behind you, take a picture of your thing, you know, there's crimes of opportunity, and that's what you're trying to stop, is the basic close, you know, again, lock your door. You know, you're not, you know, people are going to get you anyway.
Just
you
be
don't
mindful.
You don't become paranoid to the point where you don't want to do anything,
Right.
but you cover the basics.
Should you at nighttime? I always leave my computer. I don't close it out. I close the top of the computer and I put my plug in to make sure that it charges overnight. Should I turn my computer off at night rather than just closing it? Because when I open it up, you know, it just I don't have to wait for it to boot or anything.
You're talking about a laptop.
Yeah, the laptop.
Yeah. There were so many different ideas on that. I mean, some people want to be extra cautious. They turn off their router at night. You know, no one's going to hack your network if your router's down.
Okay.
So you're cutting your bridge to the internet. You know, I leave my stuff on.
Okay.
I do too.
And I'll tell you why. I mean, there's a couple things. First off, you ever notice how a light bulb always bursts when you turn it on?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a surge of electricity.
Right.
That is, most of the time, you will not sit down and all of a sudden the light bulb just popped out of normal use. It's that surge.
Right.
So a computer is more likely to crash a hard drive, to blow a power supply, anything on that initial startup.
Ah,
The
okay.
problem with that is when you leave it on, you're susceptible to brownouts and thunderstorms and stuff like that. Anything that ramps the electricity down and brings it up has the same effect as you turning it off and on.
Okay.
So if you're going to do that, what you want to do is you want to get what they call a UPS, which is a battery pack that when the power cuts off, this thing protects it for the few moments. Those little black boxes in your office that always beep when the power goes out, that's a UPS.
Okay.
So what you're doing is, if you want to leave it on, you're now protecting it from the one thing that can damage it when it's left on, which is the power cuts off, the power comes back on, and damages the equipment.
What if you have it connected to a surge protector?
Surge protectors are nonsense.
A nonsense. Okay.
What a surge protector is, your average little surge protector is nothing more than a circuit breaker in a
It's a super
group
duper
outlet.
extension cord.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. That's exactly the words I'm looking for. Now, the funny thing about that, like if you notice, it's usually just a reset button on it. All it
Right.
will do is, in the case of a massive surge, it could trip that little thing out, or your main breaker is going to break beforehand. How many times you notice that you have to go back to the panel and reset after you had that little heater underneath your desk all day? Then you have to hit the little button on there. So that tells me the breaker is going to trip faster than that little thing. The problem with those is, again, the damage isn't so much that something spikes. Most of the time, it goes down, it comes back up, and on the way up, that's the damage. And what surge suppressors and circuit breakers do is they say, if you pass this certain point, I'm going to cut off. Well, it's not that. You went down, you came back up. So that's where the damage came, from that low up.
So if that's no good, what's that? What's the thing you told us?
It's called a
again?
battery backup.
Battery
Or
backup.
UPS, uninterrupted power supply is the other term for it.
I had one of those. They're very good to have when you have a storm.
Are they expensive?
Yeah, like 50, 60 bucks for a cheap one. The way it works is the more expensive, the higher the number, the longer it can last. So if you have a computer and it only lasts for 10 minutes in a power outage, you buy a more expensive one, maybe it lasts a half an hour.
Yeah. So like for me at my office, you have 14 workstations and each workstation has multiple monitors and either a laptop or a tower attached to it. It's like you have a significant investment, so that
Right.
UPS protects your investment.
The other thing that's nice about them is they come with insurance. Most people don't claim it, but a lot of them have up to $5,000, $6,000 worth of protection. So if you're using that thing properly and something gets damaged behind it, they will pay for it.
Right.
So I want to change the subject just a little bit because it's all part of, what we're talking about this evening. So as we all know, there are many, many scammers out
Back
there
to
in the world.
scammers. I'm happy we're heading back there.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I mean, they're all, there's scammers no
Old-fashioned
matter
emails.
where you go to.
Yep.
And I think that they prey on people that, so many people put their personal information out there on Facebook, and they know if you're going through a divorce or you're having a hard time or this or that or the other. And, I personally have scammers coming at me every single day. And what I have started doing is, rather than just accepting friend requests, I go through their, the person's profile, each and every one of them. And so many of them, it's just evident that they're scammers. So
Right.
maybe we can talk a little bit about, protecting yourself ahead of time from the scammers, and then what to look for where someone's trying to get into your life. They prey on your good nature and those kinds of things.
I have something that makes me twitch. Have you guys all seen on Facebook those long list quizzes where they say, like, what year did you have your children? What's the name of your dog? What's the, there's one purpose to those long lists. You are
to know
putting
everything about you.
you
Yeah,
are
you
putting
put-
your private information that could be involved in passwords, in protection, you are putting it out forever on the internet. What you're putting your children's birth dates. You're putting how many tattoos you have. You're putting out what was your first car. If you look at security questions for accounts,
That's
the
what they are.
majority of them are things like that.
Right.
The name of your first pet. You're putting that out there
Right,
now,
right.
and now they have that list. And for people who have really sophisticated algorithms on a computer, they can capture that information and try to use it.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't take a
yeah.
quiz on Facebook.
I mean, I don't. I take the basic little play the basic little quizzes that give me information. I'm not giving them no information. You know,
Well-
that doesn't make sense to put all of your personal stuff out there like that. That's just a matter of common sense.
That and games as well. The
Yeah,
games
I
that you
don't
download
do
for
games at
free.
all. I don't play games
Right.
at all on my Facebook, on my phone. None of that. I mean, I don't have time anyhow.
Well,
One
my-
of our listeners, actually, it's Katie. She mentioned that she had her card swiped and stolen at a restaurant.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry to hear that, Katie, but thank you for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I have, you know, I mean, I think that probably all the women that are on Facebook, you get people that are sending you a friend request and they're military. I would say 99.9% of them are scammers.
Exactly.
Because they are people from, you know, Africa that are, you know, they know that women are, you know, we historically we have written to men in uniform, and so we want to be, you know, oh yes, I'm going to send them a nice note or this or that, right?
Sarah's being so nice. They are looking for women who are desperate.
Yes,
okay?
they are.
Let's put it out there. And if you're desperate, whenever I get a friend request from a man in a military uniform, I automatically delete it.
Me too.
You know, first of all, I don't believe in war and killing, so I'm not particularly interested in anyone who's in the military. But I know, and then a lot of the pictures are the same. You know,
Yes.
you get a different name in the same picture. Like, what? You know, like, give
I love
me
that
a
one.
break.
How about the ones that you know, that you might have 20 of the same friends, and you accept them as a friend, and then immediately you get a message on Messenger from them.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you? Beautiful, blah, blah, blah. I block and
Immediately
delete.
block, delete, and block. Immediately.
Yep.
Those pretty girls too. Those pretty girls
All
out
those
there.
beautiful girls,
Beautiful
right?
girls, yes. That
Yeah,
you
it's a
would-
guy
you
named
would think-
Oscar.
Yeah, it's a guy from the other side of the world. when you
Yeah,
look through the
exactly.
pictures.
Exactly.
So
you
yeah,
know?
it's
One of
it's
the
in.
one of the things that I always do if somebody wants to have a conversation with me, I'll say, "Oh, well, why don't we open up the camera so I can talk to you?"
Yeah.
And inevitably they'll say, "Oh, I'm sorry, my camera doesn't work, my equipment doesn't
give
work.
you an
I don't
excuse.
have a camera. I don't have."
I'm in the dark in a cave.
Yeah.
I really can't get in touch with you anyway.
I'm talking to you from underneath the ocean somewhere, and we don't get that kind of reception. The stories are
So
ridiculous.
tell us the reality.
Well, it's funny you say that because that is definitely a big part of the reality. People steal people's Facebook pictures and use them for their own identities and stuff like that.
Right.
I find it funny you say that because just the other day I was goofing around because I was bored in a chat room and someone sends me this picture and they're like, I took this picture for you. I said, oh yeah? I said, send me the same picture with a peace sign right now. Because they said they just took this picture from me.
Right.
Yeah, send me one.
Or touch your
And then-
face,
just
or, you know.
do something ridiculous to make them prove who they are if you're questioning somebody's identity. And you need to nowadays.
Right.
A big thing for me is I want to look at if that person isn't friends with a bunch of my friends or somebody I know, forget it.
Forget it.
It's not
Exactly.
going to happen. Now, the problem is you got to trust that your friends' connections are okay.
Right.
And that they're being responsible. But one of the first things that I definitely want to bring up, because it's a big part of some of the things I want to talk about with this, is I'm on the board of Big Brothers and Sisters. And advocating for kids is a big part of my life. And
Absolutely.
the biggest thing I think for anybody who's struggling as a single parent is, and even if you're in a happy marriage, get your kids off your public pictures. There's a
Okay.
way you can look, because we were just talking about how this one person spotted that girl, and then look what happened. Now, that was in real life, but it happens all the time on the internet. You have people that you're just inviting, hey, look at me, it's me and my little daughter. You will not spot a single public picture of me with my kids unless you're one of my friends. And that is the biggest problem. You're hooking people in, and you don't know that your friend invited some idiot from across the world, because you know what, I like everybody, so why not let them in? Now they see you in the list, and now they say, oh, you have a daughter. Now I'm going to friend request you, and now you have this other, you know, like it creates this problem.
Right.
So, like everything else, I mean, realistically, people can find records for things, but you don't want to start that process. You know, maybe someone's got a thing for blonde children, and I hate to say it, but you put that picture out there, now you're that target.
Right.
You know, this happens a lot. So my first thing is
No pictures of your children.
no pictures of
That
your
are
children.
public.
That are public.
Yeah. you know,
So you can put them on as a friend that only your friends can see them.
right.
Right.
Okay.
And the
That's
thing,
what my daughter
yeah.
does.
And the thing is, there's a spot in Facebook, and it's different whether you're using the computer or the app, but there are ways that you can simulate what the public sees. And then you get to see, oh, whoops, that picture made it through. Oh, you know, and you go back and you pull back that old picture. Now, again, being in industry, the problem is sometimes you get tagged.
Right.
So sometimes, you know, like I know some people that are in your industry as well have double profiles. Here's my public persona profile. Here's my Facebook for just my core group of friends.
Okay.
You know, and then you make sure people tag this one and not that one. But in general, like I said, be cautious who you have. Another trick you can do with Facebook is you can set it up, and I don't know Instagram or the other ones that well, so I can
Yeah, me
concentrate
either.
on
I don't
Facebook.
use those.
But on Facebook, another thing that I think is super good is under security, there's a setting that allows only the people we have in common to be the friends you can see. So you can see that I have 20 friends in common with you. Like if Holly was to pull up my list, you would see only the friends we have in common. You don't see my entire list.
Right.
Because that's where the bigger problems happen. A lot of people have the whole list out there. I can search a bunch of people I know, and I'll see their entire list of all 400 or 500 friends.
So
and
you
I
just
can-
start friending
Yeah,
people.
exactly.
Yeah,
Right.
or 2
So-
or 3,000 people you have on
So
your
unless you have somebody in common, those people aren't going to show up in the list.
Well, and I have to say on Instagram, the thing that I've found is that there are scammers out there that, number one, they don't have any posts. Number two, they will send you a request for a conversation or a chat, but they have not followed you, and they've not, it's so. I get those requests, I immediately decline
It's
all
so
of
obvious,
them. It's
yeah.
very obvious.
Right.
If you have a feel, I always say to women, if you have a gut feeling, follow it.
Yeah.
Mama C and I talk about that all the time. And that extends to Facebook. It extends to any conversation you're having. I mean, I went to the bank one day, and my banker said to me, I feel so badly for this lady that was just here. She closed out all of her accounts. She took all of her money out of the bank. She sold everything she had, and she went to Africa to meet the love of her life, and
good
he
God.
was not there.
Good God Almighty.
So,
desperate woman.
Quite a
women,
ways.
don't be stupid.
Yeah, because he was probably actually in the Philippines.
Or somewhere.
Or
He was somewhere.
Exactly. Exactly.
And, don't send money. Don't send, if they say to you, oh, my account I've had this recently. Oh, I have, my account was closed, or I'm having problems with my account. I need, can you send a gift card to my daughter and I'm like, no way. Delete
Like hell no.
and block.
Yeah. Delete and block.
They
And
ask
if
you for
block them, it'll delete
anything.
them also.
Make sure that you delete and block.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that was the funniest thing this morning. Our friends over at the Sean Harvey show,
Yeah.
Senny couldn't understand why her mom couldn't comment on the show. She had accidentally blocked her mom.
Oh my God.
So block carefully.
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
Block carefully.
But that's one of the things I've learned to do very well is block. So, I think that for women, you've got to use common sense and follow your instincts. It's better. I'd rather block and delete someone that my intuitive senses are saying no to than risking the chance of allowing somebody in my life or access to me who means me no good.
Ladies, just use your minds. Use
Yeah.
your heads. Use your hearts. Use your
Right,
gut
right.
instinct,
Oh,
because it's
also,
really
what
important.
about people who follow you that you are not personal friends with?
Right, and there are security settings you can look in there that'll show you who are following you and what to do to remove them. There's public settings that allow you to let anybody follow you, and you can turn that stuff off.
Okay.
It's really a good idea to look at all the options that are available for Facebook and see what the security choices are. They have some nice wizards now. They're trying to improve their security and just do that kind of stuff. Because again, the whole premise we keep going over: close the front door. You know what? Once you come into my door and you're my friend,
Close the front
you
door
can-
and the back door.
And the back
Yeah.
door.
and you can, like in this,
and
that's
seal the
fine.
windows.
Yeah. And even under your own account, you can even, it's a pain, but you can even set up subcategories. So like, here's my friends, here's my family, and when you create a picture, you can decide who gets this one. Doesn't always
Right.
have to be the public.
Right.
But that's a huge thing because again, you want to talk about how people get preyed on. I see a woman that's got just pictures of their kids, and I never see a dad. Or they posted that they're widowed or divorced or something, and there's my target. That's the problem. And that's the whole thing is now they've set themselves up. So whether it's the kid or just, hey, you know what, I'm going to get the kid by being what that mom wants. And that's the whole thing too. Even to bring up big brothers and sisters again, I understand from a lot of single moms that I know that are struggling. You want somebody that, hey, you know what, help. You've made it through the struggle, but it'd be so nice to get a little assistance with this stuff.
Right.
Right.
Stop thinking about a guy that's going to fill that role because I know a lot of. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I know a lot of bad has come from stepdads, and people.
Oh yeah.
We, as big brothers, as an organization, got mentors that can help that kid. You can get a breather. Now concentrate on you. What's the right person for you? But stop when you start thinking about the kid as part of dating or any of this other stuff. You
Right.
set yourself up for a bad situation. And
Right.
again, I've been on some of these online dating sites and I see picture after picture of the kid. The kid should not be part of the equation.
Absolutely.
You know what? You find the right person, then you know what? You get to introduce your kid later on, but you need to be rock solid.
My
Don't make them the first
Absolutely.
payment.
I agree with you completely.
My daughter is 42 years old. When she was a little girl, if I dated, she spent the night at my girlfriend's house with her girlfriends.
Right.
I did not allow that connection to happen until I knew there was a real connection.
Sure, absolutely. And that's the problem that whether it's Facebook or, eHarmony or Match.com, any of these things, you're setting yourself up that someone's going to say, ooh, I see you're vulnerable. You put your kids out there because you want someone to fill that role. That's where these scammers come in. The second you give them any information, you do it. So just keep it about you.
Well, and I'm going to say, I believe on Facebook, some of the settings you cannot access through your phone or through your tablet. You actually have to go on a computer.
I believe
to
you're
do those
right.
Your
things. Is
laptop.
that
Yeah.
correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, if you're not seeing on your phone or on your tablet what we're talking about, go on your main computer and go on your Facebook and look at all of those security settings.
Look at the options and then weigh your options and then make wise choices because protecting yourself and your family is paramount to the process of using technological equipment wisely.
Right. Oh, real quick. If you don't have a computer, don't go to the public library.
Right.
That's the
Oh,
mistake
yeah.
they make. They go to the public library and they forget to sign out.
And they forget to sign out.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
That's really true because a lot of older people do that.
Yep.
So make sure. And if you're a younger person, make sure to check on mom and dad because sometimes, they're not as technologically advanced as you are. So, just follow up a little bit.
And on the flip side, for parents, really got to be watching our kids on social media.
So tell us quickly a little bit about that because we only have a few minutes,
There are programs
unfortunately.
out there that you can purchase that will monitor your kids on social media. To say you can do it yourself, it's impossible.
Right.
But there are programs. You can purchase a program that will actually monitor their phones and their social media. And if there's something going on, you can stop it in the moment.
But you also want to be part of a conversation with them. Like my kids, hey, give me your password.
Yep.
If I ever get on one of your apps and I can't get in because you changed it and you don't give it to me, you're done.
Yeah.
You got to, you don't want to be hard on them, but you know what? You're protecting them. It's your
protecting them.
job to
You're right.
protect them. So,
You're right.
This is the thing. Like, friend your kids. Be part of their situation. You can't learn all these medias, but what are the main app you're using? What is, who are your friends in this thing?
Absolutely.
Make sure that they-
Snapchat. They're all on Snapchat,
Snapchat.
Greg.
Well, and
Yeah.
I'm going to tell everybody out there, if you think that Snapchat, those pictures go away, there are apps that will actually allow you to capture those pictures. And my daughter Hannah had a young man that was absolutely sending her pictures that were not what they should be, and he actually got in a lot of trouble because of it, because she captured them and had them as proof. So, if your son may have a propensity for sending pictures that he shouldn't, or your daughter, make sure that they do not do that.
I mean, have a conversation. It's as important to have a social media conversation as it is any of the other things you need to talk to your kids
Absolutely.
about.
Absolutely. My daughter
More so.
does that with my grandchildren. And, I think my 10-year-old granddaughter got on Snapchat and she didn't know. And she called her down, started calling her down, said, you're on Snapchat? And kind of gave her the what for, about it. But we also talked to them about being safe.
Yep.
You know, and taking care of themselves, you know, and I have to say, to some degree, we're all kind of gorillas. I don't think too many people are coming after us because, you know, and I purposely put stuff out there that make people understand I'm a gorilla. You come in this direction, you're the one who's going to be sorry, not me.
Greg, we want to thank you so much for coming and joining us today. If you could give all of our listeners your information, if they want to reach out and talk to you about, you know, security or any of those things, you know, we highly recommend Greg. So please give everyone your information.
Yep. Our website is www.gapsystems.com. Phone number is, I'll give you actually my cell phone number if you have to call for any questions on computers, IT, anything related to this stuff. That number is 570-856-0032.
Wonderful. Mama C, it's time for your words of wisdom.
And it's very simple. Protecting yourself, whether you're on the internet or out in public, is your business and your responsibility. You can't leave that to someone else. It's so important that you understand that your protection is up to you. Not just your protection, but the protection of your family is up to you and is your responsibility.
We want to thank Brokers Realty for being our constant sponsors.
Absolutely.
Thank you, John. Thank you,
Betty.
John,
Betty.
We also want to remind you that it's not too late to join the Lehigh Valley Health Network Pocono Healthy Lifestyle Challenge with Dr. Musa Tangoran and our Jen and Alex. They will be there. It is on January 22nd, Tuesday at 6 p.m. at the ESU Abeloff Auditorium. We also want to tell everyone that if you are interested in joining us at our Mother's Day tea, it is Saturday, May 4th at the Shawnee Inn and Golf Resort. It is from 1 to 4:30. Tickets are $35 for adults, $25 for children, $250 for a table of 8. And we also have a limited amount of vendor tables. So if that's something you're interested in, please reach out to us at sistahchatradio@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We also have our own YouTube channel, so you can always watch if you've enjoyed our show, or if you would like to rewatch the show, you can find us on Sistah Chat Radio YouTube channel. So, you know, please make sure that if you have any questions or if you would like to contact us in any way, you can reach us at sistahchatradio@gmail.com. Ladies, it's been a wonderful week.
It has.
It
We
really
had a great
has.
time at the brunch on this past Sunday.
Oh,
I want to
yes.
just tell everybody who came, you know, thank you for coming and supporting us. It's always nice to kick off the year with people who are really truly interested and invested in what you're doing, and I think we got the opportunity to do that.
And we want to thank everyone for all of the lovely things that they put in the swag bags. They were wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know what? The energy was so good and everyone had such a good time. I've gotten feedback, and that's a wonderful thing when you can come together as a body of people and really feel good.
And we want to also thank Ramel Taylor for, you know, being our producer on WSMR 100 FM. If you ever have a question, you can also reach us through the website at WSMR 100.fm. And you can, again, go to Facebook or YouTube, and you can always see all of our reruns. So we want to thank you. You've been listening to Sistah Chat, and we will be here next week on Thursday from 7 to 8. So, you know, we'll see you back here next week. Have a great week. You're listening to Sistah Chat.
Bye, everyone.
Sistah Chat Radio, turn us on, enjoy the show. The machine for your soul.
Regardless religion, your status, your goals, it's where everyone grows from what everyone knows.
Sistah Chat Radio, turn us on, enjoy the show. The machine for your soul.
Your purpose, your passion, yes, we can discuss. Designed just for you, yeah, you can trust us.